Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's severe weather update. So, in this evening's severe weather update, I'm going to be exclusively talking about tomorrow's severe weather threat. If you want to watch my video on tonight's dangerous nocturnal tornado threat, check out my video from this morning. So, the Storm Prediction Center has upgraded much of the eastern half of Mississippi, western Alabama, central Tennessee, much of Kentucky, far southeastern Indiana, and far southwestern Ohio into an enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow. This includes Birmingham, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and Cincinnati, Ohio. We have a broad slight risk of severe weather covering much of the South Tennessee Valley and Ohio Valley tomorrow, and an even larger marginal risk in the dark green. Now, looking at tomorrow's tornado threat, it looks like tomorrow's tornado threat is going to be the worst down in portions of Mississippi and Alabama, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 10% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location in the yellow shade area tomorrow. This includes Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as well as Hattiesburg, Mississippi. This is also a hatched area, which means that there could be a few long track strong tornadoes of EF2 or stronger. Tomorrow, a 10% chance within 25 miles of a location. So, really, make sure you are preparing for several tornadoes if you live in this yellow hatched area tomorrow. In the brown area, we have a 5% tornado risk extending across Tennessee into Kentucky, southeastern Indiana, far southwestern Ohio, and covering much of the rest of Alabama, Mississippi, far southeast Louisiana, and the Florida Panhandle in the brown. This includes Jackson, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio, Mobile, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi. So make sure you are preparing for some scattered tornadoes if you live in the brown area tomorrow. And the green area, we got a 2% chance of tornadoes within 25 miles of location. Looking at the damaging wind threat, we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour or stronger within 25 miles of location across much of eastern half of Mississippi, western half of Alabama, central Tennessee, central Kentucky, southeastern Indiana, and southwestern Ohio in the red tomorrow, a 15% chance in the yellow, and a 5% chance in the brown. So damaging winds are also going to be a widespread and dangerous threat with these storms. And looking at tomorrow's hail threat is going to be a lot lower than the tornado and the wind threat, but we still have a 15% chance of quarter-sized hail within 25 miles of location across eastern portions of Mississippi, western, northwestern, west central Alabama in the yellow, quarter-sized hail or larger, and a 5% chance in the brown area tomorrow. So let's look at the future HRRR radar model to see what kind of storms we could be dealing with tomorrow. So we're going to be starting around 7 a.m. Central Standard Time in the morning with the HRRR model across the south, and then we could be seeing some isolated supercells ongoing across portions of Tennessee as early as 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then going into around 11 a.m., this is when we're going to start to see a line of potentially dangerous supercells develop across portions of Louisiana, Mississippi. And then going into the afternoon, around noon Central Standard Time or 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we could be seeing a line of dangerous supercells developing from south central Louisiana across all of Mississippi into western Tennessee. And what is concerning is I am seeing a lot of hooks on these storms in the HRRR model indicating supercells. And this is going to only get worse as we go into the afternoon, going into around 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. We could be seeing rogue isolated supercells developing across southwestern Alabama, with the line of supercells moving into eastern Mississippi, western Alabama, to central Tennessee around 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, potentially impacting areas like Nashville, Tupelo, and then getting close to Tuscaloosa by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And going into 4 and 5, we're still going to be seeing embedded supercells in now congealing line of storms from just east of Nashville through Huntsville, Alabama, through south central Alabama, and then even into the evening, this is 7 p.m., we could see more supercells develop across central Alabama, as well as southeastern Tennessee, and even southeastern Mississippi. And finally, it looks like we might have a little bit of weakening of the severe storms around 10 p.m., but this model is still showing hooking in the storms as late as 10 p.m. tomorrow across central and northern Alabama, maybe even in western Georgia, before finally congealing into mostly a squall line around midnight Friday morning and weakening as they move across Georgia and the Carolinas. Now, looking at the storms across the Midwest, we're going to be starting at the same time, 7 a.m. tomorrow Central Standard Time. A lot of rain across the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, with the aforementioned supercells possible across central western Tennessee. And going into around 9 a.m., looks like we're not going to be seeing as many supercells across the upper Midwest or the Tennessee Valley. But as we go into the afternoon, we could see some of these supercells reaching areas of southwestern Kentucky, maybe even far southern Indiana by around 3 o'clock Central Time, and we could be seeing supercells across central Kentucky by 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, even as far north as southern Ohio, and then even into 7 p.m., we could be seeing isolated embedded supercells in this line of storms, producing a tornado threat up across Tennessee, Kentucky, and southern Ohio before the storms move out and weaken Thursday evening and Thursday night. Another thing that is concerning to me and is not being talked about much is the flash flooding threat. And many areas across Tennessee, Kentucky, even West Virginia are going to be seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain with this storm event, and we could be seeing narrow corridors of 4 to 6 inches of rain across Kentucky and Tennessee and West Virginia with this storm event. So we could be seeing some dangerous flooding with these storms, and this is not being talked about much. So make sure you are also paying attention to flooding if you live in these areas. And looking across the south, could be seeing some pretty hefty rainfall accumulations across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia as well. The widespread 1 to 2 inches, but isolated locations where the heaviest storms, the supercells, move through, could be seeing as much as 2 to 5 inches. So flooding is also going to be a concern, unfortunately. And this is indicated by the excessive flooding rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. We have a slight risk across the eastern 3/4 of Tennessee, southeast Kentucky, western Virginia, far western North Carolina, northwestern Georgia in the yellow tomorrow, and a marginal risk covering a large area in the dark green. So make sure you are preparing for a severe weather outbreak tomorrow if you live especially in the orange shaded area, and a tornado outbreak if you live across much of Mississippi, Alabama, and even Tennessee. Make sure you have a way of getting notified, as these are going to be dangerous storms. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.